Johnsen-Cuiriz, and I'm going to be talking to you today about my English teacher toolkit with some of the really important tools that I use in my everyday classroom and I think are essential for the typical English classroom. First of all, Turnitin is a really great technology tool that I like to use with my English classes. This is a great tool to use to check students' plagiarism. There is a lot of copying going on in high schools and middle schools right now, especially as students are becoming more and more secure in their friendships. They like to share with each other. And so Turnitin.com is a good way to check that they're not plagiarizing amongst each other. Additionally, it checks for plagiarisms on other websites, from other essays, and even from AI, which is really helpful as we are getting further and further into the development of AI, being able to check that students are not using this to create work that is not theirs. This is part of the emerging trends category and the hurdles because students need to be able to recognize some ethics behind plagiarism and their responsibility as digital citizens. Some of the links that I have included here is a link to the website, which looks like this. Additionally, on the website, there is some video tutorials that Turnitin.com offers. They talk about their academic integrity and checking for originality. They also check for similarity amongst students. I'm not sure why my screen's not loading. Apologies, but the link is there. And then furthermore, there is also some lessons that Turnitin offers. One particular one that I found useful and will be using in my own classroom is this use or misuse of AI. And so this walks you through, if you download the PDF, it walks you through an example activity of conversations that you can have in your classroom about what is a good use for AI and what is a bad use for AI. Specifically, like essays would not be the best time for students to be using this sort of tool. Okay, my next teacher tool is my No Red Ink account. No Red Ink is super helpful for helping students to understand the components of what they are writing. When students have a hard time with grammar, then they often struggle to form coherent sentences in a logical order. And so we really like to use No Red Ink in our freshman English classes because it helps students to understand the components of their sentences. Specifically, we teach things with the 4-level grammar analysis from Michael Clay Thompson. And No Red Ink is a great support to this because we can choose various activities such as adjectives versus adverbs or positive phrases. This teacher tool falls into the accelerators category because students are able to individualize their learning. They are able to choose topics that they are interested in, and then No Red Ink generates sentences and activities based on those interests. In my links down here, I have a link to the No Red Ink website, which just defaults to my dashboard because I'm already logged in. And then I also have this case study that I found on the No Red Ink website from Hoffman Estates High School, where they took a look at how No Red Ink was helpful in promoting student writing. So they use the No Red Ink technology in their classrooms, and it helps students to become better writers and helps to increase the rigor and expectation within their English classes. Next, I have Newsela. I really love Newsela because it helps students to become more aware of what is going on in the world. Sometimes they have some information about things going on at home. Sometimes they don't really pay attention. Maybe they get things from TikTok, but Newsela really helps for students to get a better understanding of what exactly is going on because it is able to be adjusted based on students' lexile level, their reading level. In my reading classes, which is a intervention class for students that struggle with reading, we do Article of the Week, where we practice identifying our nonfiction signposts, which is a reading strategy that we teach. But this is also a good text tool to use in any English classrooms or even in social studies and science classrooms because it helps students to grow their background knowledge. In the emerging trends category, this falls under the hurdles because rapid advances in technologies are putting pressure on educators to shift their approaches to teaching and learning. And so Newsela is very flexible and up to date, which makes it more accessible and enjoyable for students. Here in my links, I have the link to the Newsela website, which again just defaults to my dashboard because I am logged in. And then they also have a page on their website that has an overview for teachers to watch to understand how exactly this website works. And then finally, they also have a web page on some how-tos to help us get started, how to create an account, how to create classes, how to add students, assigning the basics, all different kinds of how-to tutorials to help a teacher that's not familiar with this website. My next teacher tool is Reading Plus. This is another tool that I use with my reading students. It is a software that updates students' reading activities based off of their interests and their personal reading abilities. It is significantly helpful in improving students' fluency and comprehension, as seen by a study done by Angela Dawn Tester-Smith at Walden University. And even with this study, it kind of proved everything that I've already seen in my own classroom as well. Whenever students are using Reading Plus regularly and committing to it in a positive way, then their Lexile level, their reading comprehension is greatly improving. And so this study that Angela did paid attention to how Reading Plus compares to IXL or to no supplemental program, and she found that Reading Plus was a major contributor in improving students' understanding of reading. Down here I have my link to Reading Plus. Additionally, I have a link on the Reading Plus website where they kind of go over the theoretical framework and foundational research. The really great thing about Reading Plus is if a student is a really low-level learner, it recognizes that. So Reading Plus first teaches students to learn to read, and then eventually they move on to read to learn, which is a key thing that many struggling readers need, especially once they get to the high school level. Furthermore, I have the link for the study done by Angela Dawn Tester down here at the bottom. And then finally, I have a simple lesson plan, which is something that Reading Plus supports teachers with when they have their own account. Not only can we assign students activities each week, but they also have these supplemental activities that teachers can do. If they notice, for example, that students are struggling with the reasoning and rhetoric skill, then this would be a good lesson to use to supplement that. And then my last teacher tool is Pear Deck. I really love using Pear Deck in my honors English classes because it allows me to get timely feedback and engagement with my students in a quick and easy way. It also allows students to stay on task because they are expected to interact with the slides from multiple choice questions to drawing to typing, whatever the case may be. It improves their engagement. This is falling under the trends category of enablers because it is a great tool to use for blended learning. I use this for both in-class assignments and out-of-class assignments because Pear Deck has teacher paced and student paced. Teacher paced works well in the classroom so that I can control how fast we go, but then student paced is a great tool for students to do outside of class and work at their own pace. Down here, I have a link to the website. Additionally, Pear Deck has some help and support videos. These are videos about how to connect if you have Google Schools, so like Google Drive, Google Classroom, all that things, or maybe if you use Microsoft Schools, Pear Deck still works for that as well. And then lastly, this link down here at the bottom talks about the impact of Pear Deck, and that is kind of what I mentioned before about increasing student engagement. But this this link here to the PDF of Haryani and Ayunikitas. I hope I said that correctly. I probably butchered it. But their study talks about the impact of Pear Deck in COVID-19 learning. And even today, we see that Pear Deck is definitely helping to support the engagement in the classroom as well. Finally, I have a sample mini lesson on how I would use no red ink. First of all, my standard was to demonstrate command of the conventions of standard English grammar. My goal was that students would be able to identify coordinating conjunctions in a sentence, and I would give a brief overview of coordinating conjunctions, specifically with the acronym FANBOYS, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And then students would spend some time working on an activity on no red ink to get more practice with identifying fanboys in a sentence. And then finally, we would have a brief exit slip where they name the acronym fanboys, and then they can complete their 4 levels of grammar analysis, which I mentioned earlier from Michael Clay Thompson for homework. And then last but not least are my slides for my references. Thanks for watching.